But again, look at this score from Andy. Another strong start for him.
I think we have another
oh, is that really happening?
Alarm incident.
Is that
here.
really happening again?
Wow.
Oh my word. What a shock, Chris. What a shock that would be happening, right? At these expos. It's ridiculous. So players, we're going to top out.
Yeah,
we
looks
are
like
asked
we're going to have to reset
exit.
this.
So
I don't stop smoke or fire, but we're going to have to sign off. We will be back shortly, hopefully.
I know, right?
So some of us are back. They are filling the building back in, and hopefully we'll get ready to start. I believe the maxers are going to keep their maxes, and they're going to put some more time on the clock, and we will be underway shortly. I'm not even sure if we're live, but just in case we are.
We are live.
Oh, excellent.
Yes, there's going to be a long time till people get back into the building because our red Tetris staff wristbands they're not letting those people in. They're only letting vendors with the vendor, like, badge, what do you call it, the placard or whatever?
Yeah, I got the
the exhibitor badge. They're only letting those people in. So me and Kyle had went out another exit, and we just kind of walked in like we knew what we were doing, and we got in way before everyone else, and it's going to be a while.
You know, that's thinking on your feet and getting the show back on the road.
Okay, we're starting to see some people come in now.
People are coming back. We've got Scooty in the building.
Sharky.
Yep, yeah, Sharky's here. So yeah, production.
All right, we're starting to get people coming in now.
We apologize for the delay in the show, but yeah, it was a fire alarm, and you probably heard the PA just repeating it over and over again. But that's what happens at these shows sometimes, and you just got to roll with the punches. And just like Tetris, you got to deal with the pieces they give you. Hope you don't top out. I don't believe there was actually a fire, but.
It was they said it was contained. It may have been nothing. It may have been something very small. In Pasadena, it was a popcorn machine.
That's right.
And it could have been something very small like that. But yeah, we are getting people in, but we need to get basically everyone in before we can resume.
That's true. Yeah.
Out the main entrance, there are a lot
judges
of people.
And a lot of moving parts that makes this production work. So hopefully we'll all get back in and in an orderly fashion and be back making those maxes, getting this last qualifying session.
Yeah, thousands of people had to leave out the main entrance, and thousands of people have to re-enter, and we have to wait till everyone gets back in before we can resume qualifying. And the timer is running. That will obviously be moved back to a certain amount.
It wasn't there in the first place, right?
And yeah, this is the Jonas Cup.
I heard it got contained.
DAS focused tournament. It is in honor of Jonas Neubauer, our 7-time champion, and really the most popular player in our scene. He was back in 2018-19. His stream and community were really the center of the classic Tetris community on Twitch. It really is what made Twitch as big as it is now, having your star player kind of be as visible as he is. And we have a lot of well-known players now that are streaming all the time, and they have these huge Twitch streams. Back in 2017, 18, 19, there were very few people streaming on Twitch, very few people kind of promoting the community. Jonas was streaming regularly, and so many people found the community around that time. The players today that have been around since around that era, the tap era, most of them started, playing by watching Jonas's streams. And of course, the newer players now are taking it to the next level, where the Blue Scooties and the Alex T's didn't necessarily start by watching Jonas, but they watched the players who watched Jonas themselves. And
right when I think the history was made when Jonas passed the torch to the new generation, which was Joseph Saley in 2019.
Yeah, absolutely, the passing the torch, and the new players have run with it, and we're kind of in this new era now with this DAS resurgence and. Some of the other big streamers on Twitch playing Tetris and exposing it to thousands, tens of thousands of people. And Summoning Salt video just came out, and some of the Game Scouts videos are blowing up. And it's really, like, Tetris is really exploding right now. It's a really exciting time to be part of it, and the future's looking very bright.
Yeah, Jonas was our first Tetris ambassador. He would go to events around the world, spread the word and the love of classic Tetris far and wide before we had such a huge audience. And I definitely recognize that. I talked about it some at the Game Developers Conference, and everybody recognizes the class and the sportsmanship and the spirit that Jonas brought to our community. And that's what we have here at the Jonas Cup, and his DAS playstyle that he was really the first to sort of perfect the technique and show other players the way to stack. And so many players learned from him that all of that passes on to the new generations even today.
Yeah, he really did set a very good example of sportsmanship and just being, like, playing the game for just to have a good time, like just to enjoy the game. Not, it wasn't just about winning, it was just about having fun, doing your best. And it's something that the whole Tetris community really kind of is built upon.
Yeah,
it's
we've
not,
really embraced it, and we realize that that's the reason why a lot of people consider us to be the least toxic esport there is. You know, we all cheer each other on whether we win or we lose. It's all just we all win when we're all having fun and enjoying each other's company and cheering for each other's victories, and everybody wants to see everybody do their best, and that spirit's permeated our community since the very beginning.
Yeah, Jonas didn't judge players based on their PBs. It was just, do you love the game? You know, you could have a 200K, a 300K, and he didn't care as long as you were just a good, positive member of the community. He treated, you know, everyone equal, and that's really what the Tetris community kind of is, and that's what it's been built around. Is people just come out to these events just to meet other people, just to have fun. They participate knowing they aren't going to make the bracket, knowing they aren't going to win a round, but they just want to have fun. They just want to meet people, and they have great times. And a lot of people leave weekends like this or CTWC or one of the other regionals saying, like, that was the greatest weekend of my life. And it's because the spirit of the whole community. People come out and they just want to meet people that are also interested in what they're interested in, and it's not super serious. It's not, I want to win. If I don't win, then I'm salty. It's just people are out here supporting each other, and Jonas really established that kind of mentality for the whole community. Okay,
so DAS stands for delayed auto shift, and that's the action that happens when you hold down the pad. It moves one cell at first, and then as you continue to hold it, it will rapidly move the next few cells as you hold the pad down. Now you actually have to kind of charge up that action because there's a certain amount of frames that you have to hold it down before it starts doing the rapid presses automatically after the initial press. So mastering the technique of being able to hold the pad when the piece enters, there's like an entry delay and then the DAS kicks in. You want to keep that charge as much as possible. So that's one of the basic techniques of DAS, where you're trying to master holding the D-pad left and right to be able to get the auto shift delay to kick in. And if you play up to a certain height, mastery of that technique will allow you to survive level 19.
Yes, just to kind of go over what Ting was just saying, the real mastery of DAS is getting rid of the delay in the auto shift. And you basically just want to make it just auto shift technique. And
sometimes
eliminating that delay is what the best players do.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll say that a player loses their DAS charge, and that's why they made a misdrop. And that's what happens if you don't hold the pad for the amount of time to maintain the charge to keep the automatic rapid presses. And there's other techniques in the DAS playstyle, such as quick tapping, where you have a DAS charge and it's moving rapidly, and you do one tap that cuts the amount of frames you have to wait for the next tap to come. Hey, Sharky.
Yeah, so the DAS playstyle is very limiting on its mechanics. There are basically hard limits as to how high you can play on certain speeds. Not quite the same as like how or rolling and tapping are, where you can play much higher. And that's what people like about DAS, is that there's this kind of constrained rule set that everyone has to follow. Everyone has to stack as well as they can within those certain height limits. And we're seeing that the great players, they're still great, like the great tappers and rollers, they're still great DAS players because they just have great fundamental Tetris.
Yeah, the fundamentals really shine in the DAS play style. Stacking efficiently, as Jonas would teach people, you want to make the playfield accommodating for every type of piece as much as possible, and that allows you to survive better if you have more possibilities for solutions. And nowadays we're seeing a lot of the younger players come up with new techniques, new ways to stack things, delayed burns, setups where if you know what piece is coming next, you can make adjustments to accommodate the next piece. So that's like the next level of play, and you can incorporate that into the DAS playstyle as well. So even more skill on top of skill is what we'll be seeing here in high-level play, especially in match play coming up. But we're in quals right now, the last qualifying block. In terms of what we're going to do because of the fire alarm situation, we're going to resume the clock. A little bit less than hour 20 will be left from what I've been told. And players will, if they have their game paused, they can resume their game or they can start a new one. So hopefully that won't affect anything too greatly, but if you've made a max, you get to keep your max. So I think that's a fair thing. You know, maxes are special and deserve to be respected. So hopefully we'll be back underway soon.
Yeah, looking around, you can see the crowd right now. Maybe a quarter of the players are back, but we do have to kind of wait till everyone who is in the qualifying session is back before we can start.
Yeah, because we want to start the clock again simultaneously.
Fortunately, I think every single station was full. So
our stage for CT1, I believe everybody is back. I see Harry, Sharky, Dog, and Andy are all up there. And the other side, Scooty is there. So
yeah, I think every single station was full. So we should know as soon as everyone is back, though. Because every single station, as soon as every station fills up, we will be ready to resume.
Yeah. And yeah, these players are itching to get their maxes and know the fate of their qualifier. It can't be, it's got to be stressful for everybody, you know, in production and the players themselves. And
yeah, when this happened in Pasadena, it was just 5 minutes, and we all went out one door, and then we all came right back in the next door, and it was very brief interruption.
At least things are starting to happen again. I mean, there's a lot going on at this event. You know, vendors are trying to sell stuff, and you know, they have to worry about people, you know, ripping off their booths and things like that. And you have arcade games on the floor, and certain things need attendance. I know there's other tournaments going on in the building at the same time besides ours. I was just in the Mortal Kombat tournament and I won.
Oh,
Boom, fatality for you.
Look at me. I just won the Mortal Kombat tournament.
Mortal Kombat. Yeah, that was, I usually don't have time to enter tournaments at these things.
Oh, I know. You're very busy, yeah. Well, not just with commentary, but you just have other game commitments.
Oh, yeah.
As well.
All sorts of stuff. I got the auction tonight, and of course I like doing retro game shopping and things of that nature. But I mean, I come here for the Tetris, and being able to contribute as a commentator is one of the most fulfilling things I've ever done in my life. But if I can rip off spines and win a Mortal Kombat tournament at the same time, why not? Boom, fatality for you.
That's good.
Players are still coming in.
I think we may be doing some interviews with Kingsman right now.
Yeah, we're going to do some interviews with Kingsman, so take it away.
All right, thanks everyone. Welcome on back. We're going to get settled in. If you are qualifying during the 12:30 to 2:15 spot that we had originally, get to your stations. What we're going to do is the following. If you have topped out, then you can just get set for the next game that we're going to call when we do the countdown. If you have paused your game in anticipation of coming back, you can remain paused and we'll continue your game. It will be valid and it will count. So again, if you have a paused game, it will be valid and it will count. If you have paused and you don't want to play that game, then unpause, top out, and then wait for the countdown to begin. So that's everyone that's qualifying currently on the off stream. Those that are on stream, we will validate those games that are paused. Thank you.
Okay, so I guess I'm going to wait for a thumbs up from the judges, and every station will start with a new countdown. So everybody who wants to determine whether they want to keep their paused game or not, make that choice now and get ready to start. And I'll be looking at tech to give me the thumbs up. So if they give me the thumbs up, I'll do the countdown.
What a day, Chris.
What a day.
What a day.
Didn't this happen like at CTWC? It's like yesterday.
All right, so we're gonna wait for our final players to get back into space. We'll wait for judges to confirm that everybody's ready. So again, for those that did not hear the announcement, games that were paused due to the fire alarm will be valid to continue should the player choose to do that. If they choose not to, they are free to top out and restart a new game. Timer's been paused, Chris, so we still got a lot of time left to go for players to kind of get themselves
about
back.
an hour and 20.
About that. So there's still plenty of time to get back in the groove, and hopefully we'll get that going.
And it's good that it happened early on so that players can keep their momentum as they progress through this last qualifying.
So again, just waiting. Got you.
DMJ and Nia, please report to your qualifying station. DMJ and Nia, you are the last two qualifiers needed at your station for us to begin. Okay, waiting on DMJ. We have found Nia. We are looking for a DMJ. The Jonas Cup awaits your qualifier.
And what awaits for us, Chris, is that we are, looking at something special. This is something that happens, unfortunately, with fire drills and fire. Second time this year.
The second time this year, so we're getting experience here. We know what to do. We're starting to know the drill, fire drill, I suppose.
Just waiting for DMJ.
So
again, we're waiting on just DMJ. So DMJ, please, if you can make your way back to your qualifying station. We are waiting for you, please. DMJ. We'll give him a couple of minutes here, Chris. We'll give him a couple more minutes.
Yeah.
He's apparently in the bathroom.
Okay, so he will be here shortly. So he will be here in a few moments.
So
we'll get that.
he's been located and just needs to make his way back to the station. And players can either wait for their paused game. I see Matt Martin over on CT2 with a paused game.
Oh, yeah.
He wants to keep that one, level 24.
Oh, he's definitely keeping that one.
That's a good one.
He's definitely keeping that one.
Alex has a frozen score at 425. It's at 127 lines, though. I'm not sure he wants to keep that one. We'll see.
Yeah, that looks like that's a top-out game. I think he called it quits there. So the majority of players I've seen kind of topped out during that break. Some of the off streams have pauses on, so they'll continue their games. We're gonna keep them as valid.
Yeah, players are gonna have to start making fire drill stats, just in case this happens in the future.
Yeah,
but,
have to come up with a guidebook for things like that, right? You don't expect
protocol,
those things to
right? But we've been doing this, 15 plus years, so crazy stuff is bound to happen, and
I was gonna ask,
part of the story.
Do you recall any moments maybe back, in the early days that something would have disrupted the tournament? And
nothing like this at all. This year is just nuts. We had the whole pandemic happen, which threw our entire tournament online, and that was, a learning experience as well. That was kind of like rolling with the punches and doing something unexpected, where every year we would do something consistent, and then we'd have to learn something completely new to be able to continue doing what we're doing. And this is similar in spirit. We're our schedule's a little whacked, but we'll have to roll with the punches and hopefully get it all done. And Jonas Cup will have our, brackets underway soon and into tomorrow's finals.
Absolutely. So we will work it out. We're going to make sure we run through as best we can. We work with the situations that are at hand, and we make it all work. And at the end of the day, it's still going to be a fantastic tournament. We got a great crowd here.
And we'll see how the resilience of the players, and we'll see maybe some players will have. Make their maxes now if they hadn't been doing it before.
Absolutely. So again, we'll be starting momentarily, just waiting on one last player to get seated.
Yeah, we're definitely getting there.
We will have action back on. We'll get a simul countdown for everyone, so we'll be on the same page again.
Yep.
Players that are paused will continue their game should they choose that. Those that have topped out will continue on.
All right. You can see everybody in the background fuddling in here at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo, the home of the Jonas Cup, our inaugural year. Already very memorable for a variety of reasons.
So we'll just start a stopwatch with the countdown, and then.
All right. So.
don't want to hear yourself, you just turn this down. This is just for what you hear. It doesn't affect the host, it doesn't affect the stream, just what you hear.
Okay.
This player 012 is the mics over there. Only you can hear them. The stream doesn't hear them.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we know.
You can also just adjust it.
Okay. I think we'll be fine.
Yep.
Thank you. All right, looks like we've got the thumbs up from tech. So all you qualifiers on your stations, get ready to play. We're gonna count it down from 3, 2, 1. Tetris.
All right.
1 hour and 19 seconds on the clock now. We have a lot of players restarting. So here on CT1, all 4 players, Harry, Sharky, Pixel, Andy, and Dog, starting fresh. And we've got maxes on the board from our field here. Sharky, Dog, and Andy.
Yeah, again, Sharky looking for his goal is 6 max outs today. I'm sure the video game bros, both Pixel, Andy, and Dog, maybe trying to match that if they can. You know, realistically, Chris, you got to kind of think like, how many max outs can you really push in an hour and a half? And Sharky has said he can get upwards of 8. I think he had said in a previous stream. So.
Okay,
You know, maybe we'll see some kind of history today.
Sharky doing a reset, so wisely, you know, if you suspect your game might not be a great one, then go ahead and start over. Now's the time to do it before any momentum or any kind of big game builds. It's better to bail early than later.
Yeah, certainly. And you got to think like a disruption like this does kind of get players off their game. You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah, they
you
want to
definitely see it right now.
Yeah, you want to get your momentum back, get back into the rhythm. Andy and Dog are sticking with it for now. Boom Tetris for Andy, 162. Then early lead among these this set of games.
Yeah, we saw Harry kind of go with the reset. He didn't feel good with that first game that's coming back. So again, rhythm gets thrown off a little bit, but you know, once you get back in the groove, these are our heroes, Chris. They'll find a way.
Yeah. Every one of the players here, definitely on CT1, storied veterans at this point. They know what they need to do, and they're going to execute the plan to do the best they can, get those maxes on the board with an hour and 17 minutes now, so most of the time is still remaining. And I'm sure Sharky, Andy, and Dog are happy with getting that max on the board already. Our current leader on the entire leaderboard is NGC Man with 4 and a high kicker of 976K, so that's the score to beat to get top place. Meme and Fractal not far behind with 4 and 3 maxes respectively.